Good morning. Welcome to Friday Facts and Fun. This morning we'll be looking a little more at the Microsoft Office suite and seeing how they are similar and different. And then we will work through Microsoft Office looking at the home page and the options available to us there. So on our screen now, we have 4 different of the Microsoft Office suite of programs. We have Word, we have Excel, we have Publisher, and PowerPoint. Each one has its own designation. In Word, the basic item is a document, so this is Document 1. In Excel, your basic item is called a book, so this is Book 1. In Publisher, the basic item you make is a publication, so therefore Publication 1. In PowerPoint, your basic item is Presentation, so this is Presentation 1. What I want to show you is the similarities between these products. As you can see, each one has a menu, and they all have the file. They all come up on the Home tab when you start. They all have Insert. Next, in Word, we have Design. We have Page Layout in Excel, Page Design, and Design. And you're going to find basically the same types of items under each one of those. Then after that, depending on the product, there is some variance. In Word, we have References and Mailings. In Excel, we have Formulas and Data. In Publications, we have Mailings. In PowerPoint, we have Transitions, Animations, and Slideshow. And then in all 4, at the end, we have a Review and a View. So what you learn in one product is going to carry forward and work very similar in each one. Last week we looked at the File tab in Word, and if you remember, in the File tab we had our Info, New, Open, Save, Save As, Print, Share, Export, and Close, Account, and Options. I'm going to move the Word out of the way now so we can look at. In Excel, we also have Info, New, Open, Save, Save As, Print, Share, Export, Publish, Close. And if I move down the screen, again, Account and Options. In Publisher, again in our File tab, we have Info, New, Open, Save, Save As, Print, Share, Export, and Close. Let me move that. And then also Account and Options. And move our PowerPoint up into our screen where we can see better. Again, in our File tab, we're going to have Info, New, Open, Save, Save As, Print, Share, Export, Close, Account, and Options. So as you can see from looking at all 4, many of the things you find under a menu are going to be the same. I'm going to close all of these now. Move them back one at a time and close each one of them. As I'm moving them back, you might notice that in each one there is a blank document. They might be called something different, but when you open it up, your document is going to be there, a blank document that you can work from on your home page. No, I don't want to save those. So having seen that all 4 of the Microsoft products have similarities under File, we next want to look at the Home tab because, again, there's going to be similarities in each type of Microsoft software. Whether you're in Word, Excel, Publisher, PowerPoint, they're going to have very similar things. The product may have some differences, and the home page, you may see some of those. So in our home page in a document, a Word document, where you can type a letter, do a resume, write a chapter of a book, any kind of document you want to create. You can prepare a rental agreement. You can prepare any kind of document in Word. Whereas in Excel, you're going to be making a spreadsheet, which we call a book. Therefore, it has grid lines and you can make things like tables. So there may be some differences, but again, there may be some similarities. In Word, we have our home page, our insert, our design, layout, references, mailings, review, and view. So on our home page, we have a submenu under home. This is called the menu. This is the submenu. And in the submenu, I can do a lot of different things. The clipboard allows me to cut items, put them in here, and then I can paste them into my document. And right now, the only thing that's showing is paste, which you can also do not just by moving your mouse and clicking on this, but we have a keyboard shortcut here. It's Control and V. Right now, I don't have anything in the document, so this you can see is kind of grayed out. This is your cut option, but I can, if I had items in this document, I could click on this. Okay, this lets you remove what you have, put it on the clipboard, and then you can paste it somewhere else. And again, it has a keyboard shortcut of Control X. You can also copy a selection. So if I had something in this document typed, I could highlight it and do a Control C. It would put it on the clipboard, and then I could move it to another section of the document. Or you're creating a second document and want to use what you have in a first. When you create a document, this section of the submenu is all about the font. Here we have a drop-down menu, which you can also get to by doing a control, hold down the control key, hold down the shift key, and hit an F and pick a new font. But because I'm using my mouse, I can click on this and I can change the font. And there are lots and lots of fonts I can show you. Scroll down, there's all kinds of different fonts that I can pick to use to do my letter or whatever document I'm making. The most common for business writing today is Times New Roman, which is what my documents are set to come up. Start using your Word product. You may need to change what comes up here regularly. Mine come up with this because I set it in the options. This here, number, this is the type of font. This is the size. And you can make it smaller or larger, whatever you want to fit your document. If I'm typing, rather than going and changing this, say I'm going to go from 12 to 18, well, it's a lot more moves to do this, whereas I could, this is increase font, so I can click on this, and as you see, the numbers are changing. I go up. This is decrease font. When I click on it, it takes them back down. This allows you to change case. So I hope everyone knows that typing in all caps is considered shouting. It's just like if I were in a room and I were yelling at you. So you can change to sentence case, which is what we use when we're writing a letter. You can change everything to lowercase, everything to uppercase. You can capitalize everyone, and you can toggle, which changes what you have. If the letter's small, it's going to change it to large. If it's large, it's going to change it to small. And this lets you clear all the formatting, leaving only the text itself. This allows you to make a letter, a word, or a selection bold. And again, this is when you can do with a keyboard shortcut, Control B. This allows you to make it into italics, italicize your text, so Control I. And this allows you to underline, Control U. Control U gives a simple underline. The little drop-down arrow means there's other selections. So when I click on it, I can make it a little line, a double line, a light and double line, a dotted line, and then there's more. And I can change the color of the lines. So anytime there is a little arrow next to an item in your menu, that means there are additional options you can choose there. This is strike through. So if you're typing and you want to take out a word, you can highlight it and do this. This is usually used in editing. We have subscript and we have superscript, so that if you're doing papers where you need to put a chemical notation like H2O. In fact, let's do that. H2. I can go back, and I know that normally in scientific formatting, the 2 would be a small. So I'm going to highlight the 2, and I can do the subscript, and now it's written in the chemical formatting. Say I wanted to type a mathematical formula. So x squared plus y squared equals j squared. So I can go back, and everywhere I have the 2, I highlight it and I do superscript. So this would look more like a mathematical formula that you would see. Now I'm going to teach you another little trick. Once you've done something, remember I told you the back arrow is your friend? This allows you to undo any of the last things you've done, and it tells you what you've done. So the last thing I did was a superscript. If I want to therefore make this next item a superscript, instead of clicking the superscript, another keyboard shortcut is Control Y, and that repeats the last thing you did. As you can see right here, now I have 3 copies of superscript. You can do special letter effects, special coloring, so I can highlight this as a formula, and you can get a little pop-up menu down here where you can do it from the main menu. Say I want to highlight it. So now I've highlighted behind that text. Or I can here choose my font color. Automatic is black, but say I want to highlight this and make it in red. So this covers the font section under the home menu. If you're typing a list of items, okay, now I have a list of items. I want to arrange them so that people understand that all of these belong to this list. So I can highlight, which you do by holding down your space key and running your mouse across. Now this list lets me do it as bullets. And as you can see, if I change the bullet, it changes the way the bullet appears in front of the item. So you have lots of options. This lets me put this in an ordered list, 1, 2, 3. So if you're doing something like a table of contents and you have different options again, I can also have a multi-level list. I'm going to undo the bullets. So now I have my list. We're going to say maybe this is a list of tasks. So now this list of items is all just a list, and it doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense. But if I say, okay, I want item 1, item 2, and item 3 are obviously on the same level, and then the items under them are under a different level. So one thing you can do, I can highlight the today and tomorrow and do an indent. This increases the indent. So now they're spaced over. So I can tell that these are subset of item 1. Do the same thing again, the Control Y. So now I can tell this is my list. I have item 1, 2, and 3, and my today, tomorrow, next week. But again, if these were like chapter headings in a book, I can go in here and use this type of setup. It numbers these all the same. These are letters. Now then, if I say I want to add something under this, it will add in the next B, but I want to break today up into this morning and this afternoon. So you can see how your heading, subheading, sub-subheading works. which you used those with our current list. If I didn't like those, I could also number them numerically. I can number them saying headings. I can number them with different bullet points. Again, Roman numeral 1, the letter A, numeral 1, small a, 1 in parentheses, A in parentheses, etc. So it breaks your headings down for you. I can sort something and rearrange. So if I wanted to rearrange, I can rearrange the order, and it lets me do that by paragraphs in descending or ascending order. Not so helpful in Word, but in some of our other things it is. This little mark is our paragraph mark. So I'm going to go ahead and click and it'll show you. So everywhere that we put a space, there is a little arrow. Everywhere we hit the Enter tab and move to the next line, there's a paragraph mark. When you're editing a document and something doesn't look right and you can't get it to work right, putting the paragraph marks and formatting symbols in will let you see where you've got maybe an extra space or something else that's causing it not to appear right. So we'll take them out, because when you're typing and it looks fine, but sometimes it doesn't. The red underlining here means that my document is trying to auto-correct itself as it goes. It's pointing out something it believes is either incorrectly spelled or ungrammatical. We'll get to that when we get to the Review tab. Now then, we can also align our document. Right now, my list is aligned to the left margin. So if this were the name of my document, say, and I highlight it, and I hit the center, it puts it in the center of the page. Or maybe I want this to be at the side of the page, like something that I want to appear on every page, and I want it to the right margin. You can also do this one. So we either left justify, left margin, center justify, right margin, or block. Block is easier to tell when you're writing a letter and you've got a paragraph. Since I'm just doing a list here, it's a little harder to tell. This also lets you choose how much space appears between your line and paragraph. But if you want to do the whole document, we're going to use this over here. Again, you can change the color behind the text, particularly if you add a table into a document, and we'll talk about tables next week because that's in the Insert section. I've brought up a document from my drive to show you the different styles. Right now, this document is in the normal style, which is this font, this size, all of the normal parameters that would be applied to the document. I'm going to highlight a paragraph, and now we're going to put this in no spacing, and you can see the difference that it changed it. It's now Times New Roman 12, so that the font style changed, the spacing changed. If we changed, since I had that highlighted, it lets me change. Heading 1 looks like this. It's in blue font. Heading 2, or a title font. So you can change your style by highlighting and putting it back. Now, in order to actually put this back to normal, well, we can just do the undo 4 actions. And now it's back to normal. Another thing that we can do is find. So I can use this by saying find. I can put in a word in navigation. Everywhere that I have the word program, it will bring up the word in the document. And then I can know if I've overused a word. Maybe I want to change one of those. If I choose the option to replace, if I replace program with event and click replace, everywhere that I had, and it replaced one. I can do replace all, and it will replace all of them. As you can see right here where it had programs, it now has events, and it made 11 replacements. You can say OK, and select is a little more. You can select items if you want certain formatting and objects. I'm going to close this navigation. Today we looked at the clipboard, the font, the paragraphs, the styles, and some editing options. Those will be very similar in Excel, in PowerPoint, and in Publisher. Next week we'll take a look at the Insert tab and its submenus and what we can do with those. Thank you. Enjoy your week, and we'll see you next time.